In today's video, guys, we are going to be going over the top 7 overpowered guns that you need to be using here in Modern Warfare 3 Season 2. With the new update dropping, a lot of weapons got nerfed and buffed, so there is a new list of weapons that you guys need to use. So if you guys are new here and find this video help, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel with noties on, and let's get into it. Now, getting into our first weapon in today's video, guys, we have the HOLGER 26 LMG. Now, the only reason why this is in today's video is because of the conversion kit. Now, this thing, I will say, is super broken. Now, going into the stats for this thing, we're getting extra damage, we're getting extra range, we're losing a lot of recoil control, which is okay, we'll fix that in a minute, but we're also getting a 42% increase in our fire rate. We are getting a 1000 RPM LMG. This thing is basically like a mini gun. This thing is super disgusting. It makes this weapon very broken, so we are going to be adding it on for our first attachment. Now, with this weapon having a fast fire rate, we are going to keep the base magazine, which is 60, nothing too crazy, and we're going to jump over here to the underbarrel next, and we're going to be adding on the Bruin Heavy Support Grip. Very important attachment for this build, just because we are getting more recoil control, aiming out of sway, firing aiming stability. We need that firing aiming stability. We need more gun kick control to control this weapon, make it very smooth. Again, very important attachment, so go ahead and throw it on here. Next, guys, we're going to jump up here to the optic next and go ahead and throw on the Jack Glasses optic. Now, if you're not a big fan of this, you could go with just the good old slate reflector, niter model, or the MK3 reflector, but the only reason why I'm using the Glasses optic is because we're getting more firing aiming stability, which is going to make the weapon better to control at those longer ranges, keep it more calm, more smooth. Although we're getting a crazy fire rate, it is going to help out a ton, so of course, we do want to add this on, which is, I think is now the new best optic here in Modern Warfare 3, so we are going to be adding it on. Now, going over here to the stock next, we're going to go ahead and add on the Ascent Lord stock. Now, this is a really good attachment to have on this weapon just because of the conversion kit that we have on with the crazy-ass fire rate that it has. We're going to add on the aiming out of sway. We have recoil control for this, gun kick control, and firing aiming stability. A really important attachment for this build. I would say this attachment and the underbarrel make this build really easy to use with its fast fire rate, so you don't have to worry about this. The weapon's going to be very easy to control, I do promise, so make sure to have this stock on. And then for the final attachment, guys, we are going to the rear grip, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to go ahead and add on the MW3's 20 grip. It's going to help with flinch resistance, aiming out of sway, gun kick control, and recoil control. Again, just making the weapon a lot more easier to control and everything, so 100% make sure to have this attachment on as well. Now, for our next weapon, guys, we have the SOA SUBVERTER, which is the brand new battle rifle here in Modern Warfare 3. I do think it is now the best battle rifle now here in Modern Warfare 3, but you can let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think is better between this, the BAS-B, the Sidewinder, or the MTZ 762? I am curious, so let me know in the comments. But for this build, guys, we are going to start with the stock here and go ahead and add on the HRT-L0. This can help with aiming out of sway, firing aiming stability, and gun kick control. I will say with this build, though, or this weapon, it just needs more stability than it does recoil control or anything like that. This weapon is really good with its recoil, and the fire rate isn't that bad, so the weapon is pretty easy to control. Again, the only thing that this weapon needs is stability, so we are going to add this on. It is the best attachment here for stability, so of course we are going to throw it on here. Now, we are going to drop down to the magazine and go ahead and throw on the 50-round drum. With this weapon not having a fast fire rate or anything, like if you're hitting your shots, and you should be with this build, it's going to feel like you have infinite ammo because you are rarely going to be reloading unless like there's a bunch of people pushing you at once and you have to mow people down, just hold the trigger down or anything like that. But honestly, if you're taking gunfights by 1v1 or 1v2s or anything like that, you shouldn't have to reload as much, and especially with this build being accurate, you're not going to have to use as many bullets as much. So we're going to go ahead and add this on, not to slow our flow down or anything. Now, for the underbarrel, we are going to be adding on the DR6 hand stop grip. We are going to work on a little bit of mobility and handling for this build, just because this battle rifle does not have the best mobility and handling. We're going to increase it a little bit, help us be a little bit more aggressive, move faster around the map, get into more engagements, be a little bit more aggressive. I think this is a really good attachment, so of course, we are going to be adding it on. For the muzzle, there's two things you could use. You could use the VT7 suppressor. I don't really use suppressors much anymore since I have been using like counter UAVs and everything like that, just abusing the mini-map. But if you want to stay off the radar, be a ghost and everything, and help with damage range and bullet velocity, you could run this. Or if you want to just be loud and proud and everything, you could go ahead and throw on the Zeman 35 compensated flash hider. I think this is a really good one. It works somewhat like a suppressor. You show up on the radar for maybe a millisecond, but also you are getting firing aiming stability and recoil control, which I think helps out a ton. So of course, I think I'm gonna go with this. And then for my final attachment, guys, we are going to the barrel, and we're going to be adding on the Dozer 90 long barrel. This weapon is going to be really good with this attachment just because we could take our gunfights to any range now. We are getting better firing aiming stability, which is really good. Most important thing here. And we also are getting a bonus here with extra gun kick control and recoil control, just making the weapon really easy to control. Now, first SMG is going to be in today's video right here, and that is the Ram 9, which I do think is the best SMG here in Modern Warfare 3. This is kind of the same build that I've usually used on this weapon. Is a primary, so a large mag is going to go on this build here. But for the first attachment, we are going to start with the stock here and go ahead and add on the HVS 3.4 pad. With this weapon not getting nerfed or anything like that, this is still the best SMG, like I've said already twice. But this attachment is a must-have on this weapon, like I've said in past builds for the Ram 9. It's going to help with gun kick control, aiming auto sway, firing aiming stability, and recoil control, just making the weapon more easier to control and also more calm, which with this weapon, with the fire rates being really fast, so we do need stability more than recoil control. But we are going to add this on. It's going to help with everything, make it really good. So of course, we are going to be adding it on. For our next attachment, guys, we are going to go to the rear grip and go ahead and add on the Retort 90 grip tape. Again, we are getting more firing aiming stability, gun kick control, and recoil control. This weapon really needs firing aiming stability, so there are a lot of attachments are going on for firing aiming stability. So the stock and this attachment is a great combo for this SMG. We are going to make it a little bit more aggressive for our next two attachments here. So we have that run and gun type of play style, but also keep this weapon very easy to use at those longer ranges, medium and even short range. So of course, we are going to be adding this on. Now, with this weapon being a primary weapon, we're going to be using it as a primary here. We are going to the magazine, and we're going to throw on that 50 round mag. With the weapon having a fast fire and everything, we don't want to have to fly through ammunition or anything like that. So we are going to be adding on the 50 round mag. We don't have to reload all the time. It's not going to slow our flow down. We can still be aggressive, mow people down like 3-4 people at a time. Really good, very important for this primary build. So of course, we are going to be adding on the 50 round mag. For the underbarrel, we are going to be adding on the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop grip. We do want some more handling with this weapon to be more aggressive, be in people's faces, but also with this attachment, we are getting more recoil control. So really good attachment here for SMGs. I do think this is a really good attachment for all SMGs here in the game. So of course, we are going to be adding it on. And then for my final attachment, guys, we are going to the muzzle. And I'm sure people know what I'm going to be running already, and that is the ZM35 compensated flash hider. I've said it in a ton of my videos. This is now the best muzzle here in Modern Warfare 3. It shortened that radar ping, vertical and horizontal recoil control, and also firing aiming stability. Now for our next weapon, guys, we have another SMG, and that is the WSP Swarm, which I do believe is the second best SMG here in Modern Warfare 3, with the Ram 9 being number 1. But with this build, what we're going to start off with is going to be the magazine first, and we're going to be adding on the 50 round mag, with this weapon having the fastest fire rate here in Modern Warfare 3. It's base weapon, no conversion kits or anything. This needs a larger mag. I feel like the 100 round mag hurts the weapon too much. You're not going to get its full potential of being aggressive and everything. It does need a large mag, so we are going to be sticking with the 50 round mag here for our first attachment. Now, for the muzzle, what we're going to be doing is going over here to the flash hiders again and adding on the ZM35 compensated flash hider. This attachment, I feel like, needs to be on the Swarm. You could add on the Jack BFB if you really wanted to, but you need recoil control, but also firing aiming stability for this weapon. With the weapon having such a fast fire rate, we are running the iron sights, so we really need stability. We don't want our iron sights to just be everywhere on the map, so this attachment is going to help out a ton. It's going to calm the weapon down, make it easier to control. Like I said, you could add on the Jack BFB. It's really what you want to do, but for me personally, the compensated flash hider is a must-have for me. For the barrel, we are going to be adding on the WSP 90 long barrel. This is going to help the weapon be better at those longer ranges. With this weapon, we are getting a 32% increase in our damage range. Also, we are getting a 24% increase in our bullet velocity. We are getting a little bit of recoil control and everything, so I feel like this is a really good attachment to have on for those longer range gunfights. So, of course, we are going to be adding this on. For the stock, we are going to be adding on the Fortress Heavy stock. Like I've said, every time I've made a video on this weapon, every time the stock has went on, a must-have attachment here. You are getting recoil control. You are getting firing aiming stability. You do need both of those, so of course, add this on. And then for our final attachment, guys, we are going to the rear grip, and we're going to be adding on the Marauder grip for more firing aiming stability, most importantly, and also we are getting more gun kick control. Now, for our first assault rifle, guys, we have the BP-50, which I don't think we can argue this isn't the best assault rifle right now here in Modern Warfare 3. Fast time to kill with certain builds, which you're going to be using today. No recoil. You can take your gunfights to infinite ranges. This thing is disgusting. But for the first attachment, guys, we are going to go ahead and start with the magazine, which we're going to be adding on the 45-round mag. This weapon does need a large mag since the weapon has a crazy-ass fire rate. So we're going to be adding this on. You don't have to reload all the time. You don't have to slow your flow down, reload all the time, get hit with that COD timing, get killed or anything like that. So of course we need to have this on. For the underbarrel, we are going to be adding on the F-Tac MSP 98 hand stop grip. What this is going to do is help with mobility and also recoil control. With the weapon having fast fire rate and not the best recoil control, this is a really good attachment to have on. It's going to help us be more aggressive, get into more engagements with our mobility, also make the weapon easier to control, be a little bit more accurate, really good. So of course we are going to be adding this on. Now, for the muzzle, we're going to be adding on the VT7 Spitfire suppressor. We're going to not be on the radar anymore, so we're going to be a ghost. We have recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range. So we're going to increase that time to kill. Our bullets are traveling further. They're hitting harder, traveling faster with the bullet velocity, and also the weapon's easier to control. So, of course, we want to add it on. Now, for the barrel, we are going to be adding on the Lore 9 Heavy Long Barrel, a must-have attachment on this weapon. If you're trying to take your gunfights to longer ranges, we are going to increase that damage range, which to be exact, we are getting an extra 15% increase in our damage range, also another 18% increase in our bullet velocity, and we are getting more recoil control, which is really good. And then for our final attachment, guys, we're going to jump all the way over here to the rear grip and add on the Trust IV grip tape for firing aiming stability, recoil control, and gun kick control. And like I've said, every time I've made a build on this weapon, this is a must-have attachment for the BP-50. Now for our next weapon, guys, we have another assault rifle, and that is the MCW, which I don't think no one can argue this is still not one of the best weapons here in Modern Warfare 3. It did get a nerf at the beginning of Season 2, which was a handling nerf, which we are going to fix on this build here. But for the first attachment, guys, we are going to start with the rear grip and go ahead and add on the RB Claw PSL grip. This is the best must-have attachment to have on the MCW. The most important thing about this attachment, though, is the firing aiming ability. It doesn't really need recoil control since it's already easy to control, but it is an extra since we are getting firing aiming stability, gun kick control, and recoil control. So of course we are going to be adding it on. Now, for the next attachment, which is the underbarrel, we are going to be fixing the nerf that this weapon got, which we are going to be adding on the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop grip. We are getting extra sprint to fire speed, extra aim down sight speed. Also, we are getting vertical and more gun kick control, make the weapon easier to control, but also help us be more aggressive and revert that nerf. So we're going to be aiming down sights much faster and shooting faster off a sprint to help us be more aggressive, which is really important. So we are going to revert that nerf with this attachment. Now, jumping up here to the muzzle next, guys, we are going to be adding on a suppressor, which you could either go with the Shadow Strike suppressor, which has no cons and only one pro showing off the radar, but also we have the VT7 Spiritfire suppressor, which I do want to run because I do think it is the best suppressor in the game. It's really just a juggle between those two, which you think is the best suppressor, but with this one, we're showing off the radar, we're a ghost, we're getting better recoil control, faster bullet velocity, and extra damage range, so we are getting a faster time to kill, our bullets are traveling further, they're traveling faster, and also we're a ghost, so you are going on those higher kill streaks, on those gun streaks and everything, which is really good, which I do think is the best suppressor, so we're going to add this on. For the barrel, we are going to be adding on the MCW Cyclone Long Barrel. Now, it's really a juggle between this one and the Midnight Barrel, really on what you want to use. You know, with this one, you are getting better damage range and bullet velocity, but you also are getting mobility, accuracy, and everything with this one. But with the Cyclone, you are getting firing aiming stability and better bullet velocity and range. What I think is better of this one, this is what pro players use, so of course, we want to use what pro players are using, so we are going to be adding on the Cyclone Barrel. And then jumping into our final attachment, guys, we are going to the optic, and we're going to be adding on a brand new optic, which is the Quarters Classic Reflex Dot. Now, this is an optic from COD 4. If you've never played it and wanted to know what nostalgia is, go ahead and throw this on and let me know what you guys think. But if you don't want to try this, if you want to add on the MK3 reflector, the Niter model, the Slate reflector, or the Jack glasses, it's really up to you on what you want to run. But for me, we are going to try this new one out, and I have to say, I have tried it out a few times, and it's super fun to use. And then getting into our final weapon in today's video, guys, we have the Rival 9, which this weapon could get a huge nerf here soon, either in Season 3 or in the next week or two, because this weapon is a monster in rank play and even in the competitive scene. I've seen clips where this gun, with the build that I'm going to be showing you guys, is outgunning MCWs from super long ranges. I don't know what it is, but I do believe this weapon will get a nerf soon. but this weapon is a monster right now. So with this build, we are going to start with the rear grip and add on the Vice Assault grip. Firing aiming stability, gun kick control, and recoil control is a must-have on this weapon. With the fire rate and the recoil, it's not really mixing well together, so this attachment is going to help the weapon be more calm, easier control at those longer ranges, so of course, we need to add it on. Now, for the stock, we are going to be adding on the Marauder stock. Now, this can help with gun kick control, aiming out of sway, and firing aiming stability. This build right here is going to have a mix from recoil control, damage range, and firing aiming stability, with this attachment here giving us gun kick control, aiming out of sway, and firing aiming stability, making it more calm, more smooth when firing, and also very accurate. So, of course, we need to have this on. Now, jumping over here to the barrel, next we're going to make this into an assault rifle now and go ahead and add on the C clear shot barrel. This can help with aiming out of sway, faster bullet velocity, extra damage range, and recoil control. Bringing up the stats here, we are getting a little bit of recoil control here, 5%, 7%, 8%, and we're also getting a 12% increase in our damage range and also a 15% increase in our bullet velocity, making it really good. Now for my next attachment, guys, we are going to go drop down here to the muzzle next and go over here until we reach the Zeman 35 compensated flash hider again. This thing is super broken, so of course, if it's broken, it's going on the build to make this SMG better, so of course, we do want to add it on here. And then going into my final attachment, guys, we are going to the underbarrel, and again, adding on the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop grip. We're getting extra sprint to fire speed and aim down sight speed to help us be a little bit more aggressive. Also, we are getting more recoil control and gun kick control just to make the weapon a lot easier to control at those longer ranges. And this thing has turned into an assault rifle now. But those are the top 7 overpowered guns that you need to be using here in Modern Warfare 3. If you try any of these builds out, let me know in the comment section what was your favorite build. Also, if you drop any high kill games, get any nukes, let me know as well. But guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.